Isaac, you averaged 54 yards a punt. Is that kind of like what you want to see on a stat sheet?
Yeah, well, it doesn't hurt to see that on a stat sheet. No, but it felt really good out there on Saturday. I really appreciate all my guys on the team really covering for me and helping me out because I hit a little too far a few times out there, but they got down the field and really helped me, especially the Flyers and the Gunners.
Were you just connecting real well, or what was happening? Were you in
Well,
the
it was,
zone, or?
well, it was funny because warm up, I wasn't having such a good time and everything was not going the right way for me. So I was like, okay, I gotta ground myself. So I don't know. I just kind of relaxed and fell into myself, and everything worked out pretty good in the end. I just felt like I was just out there playing, nothing more to it.
Was there anything you've been working on? Any kind of technique or anything that you really kind of even in the off season?
So a big problem is I put a lot of pressure on myself, and so Coach Aranda has been having the learning specialist and the psychologist come talk to us in our meetings and whatnot. And so I never realized, this is going to sound bad, I never realized how bad mentally I was with my punting and whatnot. So, I always expected high standards and whatnot, but something they taught us that really stuck with me was you cherish the victories, no matter what they are, high and small. So I felt like I went out there and in my head I said, just punt it. That alleviated so much pressure for me, and I just felt like I wasn't even trying, and I was just out there cherishing any kind of victory I'd get.
Were you just obviously in your head
Yeah.
and kind of just thinking about it too much, that kind of thing, or putting too much pressure on yourself?
Exactly. I felt like if I couldn't hit the best ball you've ever
Every
seen,
time.
then I wasn't doing myself justice or the team justice. But I mean, it's kind of funny how you tell yourself not to think that, and then you don't think that, and you end up doing very well on Saturday. So I mean, it's funny in that sense. But no, I just really am glad that my mindset's a lot better now.
When you're punting like that, it's got to be a pretty good feeling knowing how much that helps the team. Hitting the opponent in bad field position and stuff.
Yeah, it does feel really good. You can see on the clip I start jumping around a little bit, and it's funny because my roommate Connor Galvin, our left tackle, saw me on the field. He starts flexing at me, and then we both jump in the air and give each other a little chest bump. So, I mean, I know some specialists and punters like to stay even keel and not show too much emotion, but I just let that all show and let everything fly and let everything go out there.
You're holding this year too, right?
Yes, sir.
What's that been like? Because I mean, and that's kind of a common position for punters. I'm not sure exactly why. I guess you catch the
Yeah.
ball, but
Yeah, well, me and Isaiah Hankins, our lefty, we have spent a lot of time together. And so we've been trying to get to know one another because it's all about chemistry out there. But the hardest thing for me was in the summer, we're training for these righty kickers. We have all these righty kickers going, so I'm just going righty, righty, righty. Then Isaiah comes in and he gets the job, and there's like, okay, now everything you do it backwards. So it's like, okay, so it took me a couple weeks to learn how to hold backwards because you're spinning the ball backwards and you're catching with the opposite hand, you're holding with the opposite hand. But once I got it down, now it's just same as it would be for righty. But yeah, that's one of the hardest things that I do this summer is learn to hold for a lefty.
is that cool? Just having something else to do.
hmm
I mean, obviously punting is a big job,
Yeah.
but just having something else to do on the team, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it definitely, instead of thinking you're going out there for punt, you're going out there just to hold a field goal. I don't know, it just feels a little bit less to me. But no, I have a lot of fun with it. And I'm glad Isaiah has the personality to have fun with it with me. So we just kind of enjoy each other's time out there and have fun with it so it doesn't feel as much of a job, more as just having fun on the field.
Does
How
the
did
kid,
you
go ahead.
how
Go
did
ahead.
you settle into being a punter and that being your position?
So when I was growing up in Colorado, where I'm from, I was starting high school football as a freshman, obviously, and I played soccer my whole life. And my dad told me, "Okay, you played soccer, now you're gonna play football." So I was like, "All right, here we go." So I get out there as a freshman, and they have a whole freshman team there, and the coach asks, "Okay, who wants to be the kicker?" So of course no one raises their hand because no one wants to be. Yeah, I'll be the kicker. And so then coach goes, "All right, who's played soccer?" So lo and behold, I raise my hand, look around, no one else is raising their hand. So I'm like, I guess I'm the guy. And I guess it wasn't for me raising my hand that day, I wouldn't be here right now, which is crazy to think about. But I don't know, it just kind of came natural. I guess that happens for the kickers and punters playing soccer your whole life.
Do you feel like Saturday is like is it soaked in, everything that happened and getting that win and being such a big role in it?
Back to the mindset, you try not to think about, oh, I did so well, like I did amazing, but you want to cherish the victory, but focus on what's coming up next. So I relish in the victory, I cherish it, but we have OK State now.
Is it much different, like punting it almost sea level than compared to altitude.
Yeah, it does go farther. And so when I was getting recruited coming out of high school, that was definitely a factor. People were like, oh, you're just in Colorado doing this. You're not here in Texas. So I'm like, okay. So it was kind of like a motivator for me. It's like, okay, well, I can do in Colorado what I do here. Let me show you what's going on. And so I guess I carry that with a chip on my shoulder, so to speak, going forward.
Did you have a kicking coach back then? Do you still have one?
I do. His name's Craig Power. That's my dad.
Okay.
No, so I didn't do the traditional route, kicking wise, and so my dad and we didn't find an actual kicking coach till my senior year of high school. So I learned how to kick through YouTube, and I guess that's what makes me more of a traditional guy. I do a lot of things a little bit different just because that's how it came to be. So a lot of guys around college I'd watch who go up against now on Saturdays be like, hey, I watched you on YouTube. I do this because of you on YouTube. So it's kind of funny to think about that's how everything came to be.